Hello, dear students. Today we will discuss about a very important topic of the chemotherapy, and that is super infection. Now, super infection means infection that is superimposed on the already existent infection. It means that there is a particular infection, and for that we have given the antimicrobial agent, and by the use of the antimicrobial agent there is an appearance of new infection. So appearance of new infection by the use of the antimicrobial agent is called super infection. And the basic reason behind this is there is an alteration of normal microbial flora. Dear friends, in our body there are various there are various microorganisms which are already present. These are known as a commensal microorganisms, and they are very helpful. They are very helpful in terms of they compete with the pathogenic microorganisms for the nutrients, and they release certain agents which will kill the pathogenic microorganisms. These are known as bacteriocins, and they are present in the and these are bacteriocins, and they will kill the pathogenic microorganism. Now when you give the antimicrobial agent, especially the broad spectrum antimicrobial agent, they will kill this normal microbial flora, and that's why there is a no competition with the pathogenic microorganisms for the nutrients, and that's why these non-pathogenic microorganisms they become pathogenic. Okay, and more will be the suppression or the killing of the microbial flora, more will be the chances of superinfection, and that's why superinfection is a characteristic of broad spectrum antibiotics like tetracycline and chloramphenicol. And if the person is having a immunocompromised state, like you all know corticosteroids are the immunosuppressant agents, leukemia and other malignancy, when we are giving cancer chemotherapy the immune system is suppressed. Then in HIV infection, specifically acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, diabetes and agranulocytosis, in all these conditions, if you can see, a common characteristic is immune system is suppressed, and that's why the chances of the pathogenic microorganisms to grow and produces the infection is increased. Okay, and what are the common sites of the superinfection? These are the sites where the normal microbial flora is present. These are the oropharynx, intestine, respiratory tract and genitourinary tract. Okay, now I am giving you 2 or 3 examples, no need to remember all. First and foremost, Candida albicans. These Candida, it is a normally non-pathogenic microorganism, but it may produce infection because of the use of broad spectrum antibiotic, that is monilial diarrhea, thrush and vulvovaginitis, and it should be treated with nystatin or clotrimazole. These are the antifungal agents. Then Clostridium difficile, it is an Clostridium group of organism, and it will lead to a membrane like formation into the large intestine, that is known as a pseudomembranous enterocolitis, and it is to be treated with, as this Clostridium difficile is an anaerobic organism, it should be treated with metronidazole or vancomycin. Similarly, staphylococci will lead to enteritis and Proteus and Pseudomonas will lead to urinary tract infection. So now, are there any measures to prevent this super infection? For that, it is very clear that if you use a narrow spectrum or specific antimicrobial agent, then the survival of the normal microbial flora will be high, and that's why the chances of super infection will be less. That is the first and the foremost requirement. Second is judicious and rational use of antimicrobial agent. Judicious and rational use means don't use the antibacterial for the viral infection, then use a specific antimicrobial agent for a shorter period of the time and for a rational indication. So this is all about super infection.